cut it at 138.
You good, Jeff?
Yep.
From 5?
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to today's Huntington Bank Live Chat with Ryan Johansen. This is exclusive for you, the Huntington Bank customer, which must mean this guy's money, to join me here today. I'm Bob McElligott. Ryan, first of all, thanks for taking a couple of minutes today. I talked to you last night after the game, after the 4-3 loss to the Los Angeles Kings. You weren't a happy guy. I didn't expect you to be a happy guy. You feel any better whatsoever today?
Yeah, I mean, this game has so many ups and downs. You got to be able to put stuff behind you and just focus on, your next task. And, it's important, to learn from the games and mistakes and things you can do better. But, to be able to move on and focus and take out some positives from the game. And so, we're just moving forward, and it's a new day today.
All right, well, over the course of the next 30 minutes, we're going to take fans' questions for you to answer. It could be about anything, so just be ready for anything. It's just that simple, all right? Let's just kick it off right now. First question comes from Rob, who wants to know how you came up with your, he doesn't have this word written, I'm trying to think of one, maybe the antics for your All-Star Breakaway Challenge that you did here a couple of weeks ago. How'd you come up with the 3 things you were going to do on each breakaway?
Well, the first one I thought about since I won the championship, and I figured if I was put in the breakaway situation, I'd do something like that. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do or where or what, but wanted to somehow get Ohio State in there. And the second one there, I wanted to pick a kid in the stands originally, but then I was thinking that might be a little dangerous. The kid might be a little nervous or something, or wouldn't want to do it, so I picked our trainer's kid who was ripping around the dressing room all day, and I just thought I'd get him.
So you had no idea. I mean, this kid's just around, and you go to Mike Vogt, your trainer, say, hey, do you think that your son might star in the NHL Breakaway Challenge tonight if I pick him up and carry him in to shoot the puck?
Yeah, and then Voter said he would love to, so I think that was a lot of fun, and then. The third one, I had no idea what I was going to do and just came up on the spot with a flying V. So a few of the guys jumped on board and had some fun with that too.
Now, the Ohio State football jersey that you wore for the first one, you said after the skills competition that night that your original intent was to get a helmet as well, but that didn't work out for you. What happened when you went to find a football helmet?
I went to one of the Buckeye stores. And I think it was on Lane there or whatever, and I was trying to find a helmet that I could throw on, and none of them would fit. They only had small sizes, so I wasn't able to find one that I could wear.
So now, did you learn anything out of that experience? Like next time, maybe have an equipment guy call an Ohio State equipment guy a few days early, get you a helmet here.
Well, actually,
maybe even bring Braxton Miller to stand with you while you take the shot.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I could have done something like that too, but I actually ran into a couple of OSU alumni guys after that game, and they were like, "Oh man, we could have brought you in a real jersey and like a helmet and stuff," and I'm like, "Oh." I didn't even really think of it.
Live and learn, right?
There you go.
It's just like that Halloween costume that you put together, and after the fact, somebody goes, "Oh, I had that. You didn't have to spend $40. You didn't
exactly.
Know. All right. Next question comes from that guy. All right. What was your first All-Star game experience like, and did you learn anything from the regulars? The regulars, of course, obviously are guys that have played in the game numerous times. So what was that whole thing like for you?
It was unbelievable. The whole experience, there wasn't one moment where it was just like, I'll remember this the rest of my life. It was the whole weekend put together, and all the events, and having my family and friends and doing everything together, and just the whole event here, it was phenomenal. I had such a blast, and be able to share it with Foligno, and obviously too bad Bob wasn't in there to do it with us too, but me and Fligs we had a great time with it.
You guys, I thought you were perfect ambassadors for this city and for your organization, and I know we talked about that a little bit going into it, about how important that would be, but what I got out of that weekend from both of you guys, and especially from you in that Breakaway Challenge, is how much you enjoyed it and how much you embraced that role of it. And it seemed like you were really happy to welcome all of those guys into your city and showcase what you have here? Because some people know, a lot of people don't. Did you feel like that was a really good chance to show the world how good of a hockey town this is?
Definitely. It's easy when you're around with Foligno. We all know how well-spoken and professional he is. So, I was really just trying to follow in his footsteps, kind of, and be a leader with him. And we talked before the event and during it, just how we really want to be professional and make sure that we're doing everything we can to make everyone around us really enjoy the experience. And I look at Foligno as a big time leader, and just watching him and the way he carried himself around all the events and stuff, it was I learned a lot from that, and and I thought we handled it very well, and all the events were great, and people seemed to laugh and enjoy the draft and stuff like that, and so yeah, overall it was, we really enjoyed being the ambassadors for the weekend, and it was a once in a lifetime opportunity and experience.
Now, there were a lot of guys that I seeked out after the game was over, and I'm talking some of those regular guys, to ask them what their experience was like. And they all had great things to say about Columbus. I'm talking about the Stamkos and Bergerons and Andrzej Kopitars. What kind of feedback did you get from your peers?
I was getting the same. We were getting the same thing in the dressing room there. They were so impressed by, the rink and our dressing room and the city and, restaurants and everything. They just, a lot of the guys were saying, we always like coming to Columbus. Before we were expecting people to learn a lot about it and maybe go to places they've never been, but most of them were coming in saying, we love coming to the city, and the whole downtown Arena District area here is so great with all the restaurants and being all so close together and clean, and they seem like they already really enjoyed coming here.
I liked what Duncan Keith told me, first of all, because in Chicago, he's come here a lot, obviously, back in the days that both teams were in the Western Conference. And the first thing that he said is, well, we always see that practice rink right there, number one. That's really a big draw for players, isn't it? Because you guys have a luxury to where you come out of your dressing room for practice. You either go to the right to the ice house or you go straight out to the main ice. A lot of guys have to get in the car and drive 30 minutes to go to their practice.
We're very, very fortunate for that, yeah. Our setup here is unbelievable. And another thing is you look at the airport, too, only being 10 minutes away. And we were up in Ottawa, and Foligno was just talking about, the commute they had to do back and forth to their rink and the airport, and he said half hour, 40 minutes, depending on traffic and weather. So, those things make a big difference. And, for rest, too, you're in your bed earlier, and those little things add up.
Now, all of that being said, do you think that weekend could somewhere down the line serve as a recruiting tool? If there were a guy that maybe was going to be a free agent, or maybe you guys need a certain player for a playoff push, or a guy that's going to get you through the first round to the second round, and he might have a limited no-trade clause that maybe before they wouldn't have thought about it, now they might?
Of course. It's this is a very small, well, not a small league, but hockey players talk within one another, and there was basically a guy off every team that came to the game, and they're going back to their hockey clubs and saying their experience and how much they enjoyed it, and talking about the rink, and then talking about me and Foligno, and when that time comes, whether he's a free agent or through a trade or something, and they hear about Columbus and they have positive feedback from guys, maybe that helps their decision making. So I think definitely if we're in situations to get one of those players, which would be nice, I think they'd definitely jump on board, and because the experience they had here and how much they enjoyed spending a few days here.
I can't believe you haven't jumped on Yarmo to try to get Alex Ovechkin from the Washington Capitals yet. He was your line mate in the game. He set you up beautifully. I mean, sure, it would take about 10 guys to trade to get him, but for you, might it be worth it?
Yeah, that was probably a once-in-a-lifetime chance there to play with him, so me and Foligno enjoyed that for sure.
All right.
That was cool.
Let's get another question here from CBJ fan, and it has to do with Nick Foligno. What's it like playing with Nick? You two have been killing it this season, and you've been together, you've been apart, but And you get to a power play situation, he's usually out there with you too. You guys are almost neck and neck, or pretty much neck and neck for the points lead right now. What's it been like, that little competition, the friendly competition within the game itself?
Yeah, obviously can't speak enough about Foligno. I pump his tires way too much, but he's awesome to play with, and we just kind of clicked ever since we put together. We kind of have the same mindset on the ice, and similar instincts and whatnot. So whenever we're together and we're moving our feet and using our size and skill, we're usually successful. And we have a ton of fun playing together. So right now they switched it up a little bit. He's on Dubinsky's line, does
that make you jealous?
Yeah, I miss him. But no, I'm fortunate to play with Hartnell and Cam right now too, and we'll talk about that probably a little later. But yeah, and then obviously we've had pretty good years for numbers wise and stuff, and it's great we're able to push each other with that, and now try and find ways to get numbers on the scoreboard for our team.
Everybody was happy when you signed before the season started. How happy were you that he signed during this season, that you knew you didn't have to wait until the end of the year? Because let's be honest, if he's an unrestricted free agent come the trade deadline, and if you haven't bettered your position as a team, that might be somebody, that would definitely be somebody that people would be attracted to elsewhere in the league. Just knowing he's going to stay and he's going to be here, how much did that mean to you?
Meant a lot to me. You never really know what management or coaches are thinking about players and how they want to move forward and go about the organization. And for a guy like me, it tells me they believe in these players, that they can get the job done. And for seeing that, it's a good feeling, because I feel like I know that they can do it. And when management has the confidence in them and signs them long term, it's cool to see. And then I know I'm going to have the opportunity to play with those guys for a long time, and hopefully, so we got that core group right now, and a couple more guys are still up this year, and we got the group. I think that we can get it done. So we just got to keep growing and get a little healthier, and then see what we can do.
Yeah, and that last one being a big key, obviously. Kevin S. says, what is it about Columbus that made you want to sign longer term here? What do you like about this city? It is the only NHL city that you've played in. I know you come from the Vancouver area, so you know what it's like to be around an NHL city, but what do you like about this?
I love the whole High Street, Shore North, Arena District area. There's so many great little restaurants and stuff. I mean, I don't have time to run around the city, but we got such a busy schedule that we usually come to the rink, practice, and go home, lay on the couch for a little bit, and then go for dinners with the guys. And there's so many great little spots with good atmospheres, and whatever. And it's just such a great city for that, I find. And it's my family really enjoys coming here every time. They absolutely love it. And downtown is remarkably clean. It's and everything's so close together. You don't have to drive, make big commutes everywhere. Like a big city where I'm from, Vancouver, it's a hassle getting around places. So, and our arena is beautiful, one of the best in the league. That was another thing, guys. The All-Star game wouldn't stop talking about how much they loved our room and the rink and stuff. And it's a great place to live. People are very nice, and it speaks for those guys signing those long-term deals as well and coming here and showing how much they like playing here as well.
It's funny you talk about not having a lot of time, and I don't know if people on the outside really understand that lack of time that you have, because it's not a 7 to 10 game and that's all you're doing. I mean, you're in here working out, you're in here practicing, all of those things. And it's funny you said about lying on the couch yesterday. So you played games Friday and Saturday at home, and then went to Ottawa. Then Sunday was a day off. And yesterday morning, I was asking some guys, how'd you enjoy your day off? And most guys said, I didn't move. I just stayed in my place. I didn't even go anywhere. But that's how it is, especially at this time of the season, and you were in the midst of playing 3 games in 4 days. So, I mean, it is a grind. It does wear you down, and that's why you're not out necessarily shopping or seeing the sights on those really rare days off.
Yeah, Totally. We're looking at the hours actually the other day, how long we're at a rink on game. It's like 11 or 12 sometimes. And then when you mix in back-to-backs with travel, and then we just finished 3 games in 4 nights. And against, this time of the year when games are so hard and, you're so physical and hard on the body. And, it's a grind this season. And with 82 games, if you're not in really good shape and taking care of your body, it's you'll be a step behind. So it's all those things are so important, and it's a tough year and long year.
We landed the other night after the game in Ottawa, and Jody Shelley said to me, "Oh, that was a nice week-long trip." We're gone for a little over 24 hours, right? And we didn't even play. I mean, he doesn't even have to go out there and get hit anymore, for crying out loud. So that gives you a little indication of how it does. It feels like it drags on forever. You can go on a one-day trip like that and feel like you've been gone for 3.
Yeah, it's funny when people talk sometimes. They just don't kind of understand how it all works, and it's not always butterflies and rainbows. It's it's behind the scenes. There's a lot of work and a lot of travel and a lot of bumps and bruises you get over the games and over the year, and so it's tough, but that's what makes teams great and players great. And you can battle through those situations and find ways to win.
All right, let's get you another question here from Lindsay. It says, do you have any strange pregame rituals or any lucky objects that you carry with you?
No, nothing. No cool stories or anything like that. Just got my routine, come in, have some food, make a stick, and go have some fun.
You might consider that stick a lucky object once in a while,
there
right?
You go. Well, give it a little kiss before the game.
Yeah. if you're not carrying it, you have no luck at all, more than likely. Unless you can head the puck over to Cam like Scotty Hartnell did the other night. If you can pull that one off, you're in good shape.
That was sweet.
Next one comes from Kay Burke. It says, how's your puppy doing? And also, what's your favorite Columbus restaurant?
That's a good question. I miss my puppy very much. She's awesome. My dad was sending me a bunch of videos of her the other day. And
so your puppy's in British
around,
Columbia?
I know. Yep. She's with my parents right now.
So you're separated?
We're separated.
Why didn't you bring your puppy here? Just because of the... Is this go back to what we were just talking about a minute ago, right?
Too busy, too much travel, and just it'd be too tough. So
have to take her somewhere, right?
My parents already have a dog too, so it kind of made it a little easier on them as well. They don't have to. They can just throw them in the backyard and they play and stuff. They don't need to, walk around our other dog as much and whatnot. So, but I miss her a lot.
All right, what breed?
It's a Siberian Husky.
Siberian Husky. So you're not messing around, man.
She's beautiful.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And she'll get big?
Yeah, she's been growing like crazy. It's unbelievable. So it's supposed to be like 40, 45 pounds max, but so it's not that big, but she's growing pretty quick.
Good. What about that favorite restaurant? You mentioned there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know if you can pick one.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends kind of what I'm feeling like, I guess. The Third and Hollywood out there is great. Hudson 29 is good. Hyde Park's good. Miranova there downtown's good. Those are kind of my rotation. I just kind of rotate through those 4. All great spots and great locations in the city. And
what about when you have to do the regular stuff, like the laundry, the grocery shopping, all that kind of stuff?
It's difficult.
Nobody likes to do it.
Yeah. I mean, going back to how hard the season is, you're so tired, and then you have to come back and do all those things, and it's a grind.
Sometimes it's easier just to go hit that restaurant than to go to the store.
It's almost easier to fly your mom out to do some stuff too. So she's out in a couple weeks, so can't wait.
Count down the days.
All my laundry done, yeah.
Now, when she's here, does she make sure you're stocked up when she leaves too?
Yeah,
because she was here
awesome.
for the All-Star game, obviously. So
yeah, so I'm okay right now.
You're good.
Yeah,
you're good for now.
She's great for that. I'm a mama's boy. She takes care of me.
Hey, you need
awesome.
that.
Yeah,
you need that, no question.
Especially me.
Stormy B would like to know, what is the best way to get kids started in hockey, and what was the experience for you when you were little?
I don't really remember the whole process when I was that young, but I remember my dad just throwing on skates and once a week when I was 3 or 4. We'd go up to just a public skate, and I'd cruise around, just wouldn't want to leave, just having the time of my life. And just put a stick in their hand, helmet on, and let them have fun, and let them enjoy the game. And what was the second part of that question?
The second one was just your experience when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And I think this is funny. I had some kids that came up to my booth last night that had won a contest, and I asked them if they played hockey, and their dad said, "Not yet, but they want to." And there is, and I don't know, at 3 or 4 maybe this doesn't happen, but once you get to that 6, 7, and 8 range, sometimes starting that can be frustrating for a kid because you got to learn to skate, and you're going to fall down a lot and get back up again. But
totally.
It's all about the perseverance, isn't it?
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense. Sort of at that age group, it's they don't really care if they're struggling or falling down. They just kind of laugh and get up and do it again. And it's not an easy thing to learn how to skate as well. So that's kind of how my parents did it, and a lot of guys that I've played with over the years is just from what they can remember, they're just throwing in skates right away and just out there ripping around and having fun. So for my experiences growing up, it was just all I remember is just being on the ice as much as I could and as long as I could, and whether my parents didn't really like that too much all the time, but I just it was all sports for me every single day, every single minute, no matter what it was: baseball, hockey, golf, badminton. It didn't matter, just as long as I was playing sports. And it's just kind of how I grew up.
You mentioned how good your mom is as far as taking care of you and doing all those things that she does for you. Your dad has his way of taking care of you as well. And since we're talking about youth hockey, I wanted to ask you about that because from talking to your dad and knowing your dad a little bit, I know that he's been there for you every step of the way from the time you've been a kid and started playing in the youth leagues and moving all the way up to playing junior hockey and now playing in the National Hockey League. What has he meant to you, just being there with you every step of the way?
I could go on for days talking about what he's done for me, but 2 things that stick out the most: support and being positive every single day, every step of the road, every roadblock, every positive thing and negative thing, like just always thinking positive, and anything he could have ever done to support and just be there and distract me from a negative whatever. And you can't say enough for what he has done for me and my little brother who's coming up the ranks now too. And you meet a lot of parents throughout our team and around the rink, and they're all very very similar. Just meeting them and talking to them, and them telling stories about their kids and my teammates now, and we're all so similar, and all our parents are kind of raise their kids the same. It seems like it's just so supportive and always there, always kids before themselves, and my mom and dad just they just let me do what I wanted, whatever made me happy and have fun. They were there for me, and and it's been a crazy roller coaster career, and a lot of ups and downs, and they're definitely a couple of proud parents of their 2 boys. So it's just really just can't say enough.
Before you got here, you played in Portland in the Western Hockey League before you were drafted.
Mm-hmm.
But before you got to that point, when things really took off for you, there are steps along the way, and you went to Huntington to play before you went there. When you're talking about that support, when you were there, before you went to Portland, when you were trying to figure out who you were as a player, or how do you get a coach to utilize you in the best situations, how important was that support for you then?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know it too. And that year when I was 16 in Penticton, I think I scored 7 goals all year, I think, and played 3 shifts a night, and sometimes I'd be scratched and I'd be our coach had asked me to video our game so he could break it down after for our team. You know, I'd be sitting there feeling like I could make a difference on the ice, but you know, you're just not getting the opportunity. And for me, you know, I'd call my dad. I'd say, Dad, I can't do this anymore. Like, you know, how long do I put up with this? Like, you know, am I being dumb? Like, am I just not good enough to, you know, move on in hockey, or what is it? And going back to the positive and support, like, he just said, just keep working, buddy. I mean, this is all, you know, you love hockey. Don't give up on anything. Just go out there and try and prove them wrong, and you know, do the best you can. That's all you can do. And I'd say, okay. And I just kept sticking with it. And that whole year was just trying to find a way to, you know, show myself. And you know, one of our best player actually got injured, and I actually got to go in the lineup, and then I just started taking off and playoffs. So just, you know, it was just started scoring and making plays, and you know, kind of shocked everyone. And then all of a sudden everybody was, you know, trying to recruit me for things and teams. And in Portland, Mike Johnson, the coach of Pittsburgh now, who was my coach and for the Winterhawks there in Portland. You know, I just remember him trying to convince me to leave my scholarship that I verbally committed to there. And he was like, Ryan, I believe in you as a player, and you know, I'd love to have you in Portland. So, you know, if you want to come, we'd love to have you. And you know, then that was another difficult decision where Mom and Dad, you know, helped me out big time. And you know, they weren't like, Ryan, I think you should do this. They were, Ryan, whatever you feel is best for your career, and whatever you want to do. And you know, I looked at them and said, well, school, and I don't think it's the best decision. And you know, I'd really like to give it a shot at hockey. And you know, I love this game, and I feel like I'm a great player. So, and then I went there, and it wasn't rainbows and butterflies either. You know, I didn't score for my first 15 games or whatever, and then slowly just started learning and growing and as a player. And just in 1 year I was drafted 4th overall, and now today I'm an all-star in the NHL. It's so surreal. It really is unbelievable. You know, it's been a fun ride so far, and you know, definitely not taking anything for granted and enjoying every moment. And you know, my parents are just loving it. They got my little brother going through it now too, who's playing in the same league as where I played in Portland and Kelowna, and starting his career off. And his team is the best in the CHL right now, and they're having an unbelievable year and have some great players in their team. And you know, it's good that I can share all these experiences with him as well. And,
I was just going to ask you, who's he calling, Dad or you?
I think he calls Dad a lot more than me. I think it's a little tough for him to call me. He feels like I'm going to give him a hard time about stuff or things.
It's older brother. Why would you ever do that? Right? Come on.
Yeah, but you know, he's a very independent kid. He likes learning and on his own. He's one of those guys that wants to prove people wrong. He wants to prove to me kind of that he can be a player. He can be as good as me or better or whatever. You know, he that's what really drives him. You know, he sees me as older brother that's having success and in the NHL now, and I think that's what really drives him, which is awesome. And you know, he really pushes himself on and off the ice. He's a tremendous worker, and you know, sky's the limit for him as well. And you know, I've had text messages and calls from previous people. I remember Tyler Wright, and you know, he would text me once in a while. He's like, your brother's gonna look good in a Red Wings jersey, and joke around and stuff. And you know, it seems like a lot of people believe in him, and you know, he's one of those kids who believes in himself. So it'll be interesting to watch him the next couple of years.
He's draft eligible next year, not this summer, but next summer.
Yeah. When
the draft's in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask you, would you rather play with him or against him?
I would love to play with him. I think that'd be awesome. So, but the odds of that are pretty slim. But maybe I'll have a little chat with Yarmo and JD. See
you got to push the envelope there, Ryan.
Yeah, see what we can do. But
if they have to move up, as long as you're not trading you to move up, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That would be very ironic.
That'd be funny, huh? That'd be something.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for taking some time to sit down and talk with us today. Really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Bobby.
And hey, enjoy your next couple of days of just practice before you got to get right back into it with the grind. It's Philly. New York Islanders, Philly, Pittsburgh, Montreal, Rangers. Easy to say. It's a tough 6-game
Perfect.
stretch, right?
Perfect. That's what we want. So we'll see what we can do. here.
Chance to make a difference with some wins, right?
Totally.
All right.
Totally.
Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks,
That is
guys.
our Huntington Live Chat today. Ryan Johansen joining me, and thank you for joining us as well. I'm Bob McElligott. So long on Jackets TV, presented by Ohio Health.